Welcome back to Car Talks, the greatest series on YouTube. You know what time it is, and if you're new here, welcome to the greatest series on YouTube. You may not have ever heard of it until this video. Thank you for showing up. Now, once again, I do not have my second camera up. I don't care right now. I'm gonna be completely honest, man. I just got a new job recently. I think I have to wake up at 4:30 tomorrow to go to work, and it's currently 9:07 p.m. So I don't really want to put in a lot of effort right now. But yeah, I just got a new job, man. I quit my other one because my other one sucked, to be honest. This one so far is fine. It's just okay. I'm just making coffee. That's really it. There's a lot more mechanics that are behind this job in particular as opposed to my first coffee shop job. It's a little more difficult, but not too much. I mean, how difficult can a coffee shop job be? Let's be 100% honest with ourselves. With that boring shit out of the way, let me just tell you about the time that I almost had kidney failure. Yeah. Me. I know you can see the title and thumbnail or whatever, but for whatever reason, if you can't, I drink a good amount of liquid per day. I do keep the kidneys fairly healthy, but for whatever reason, what had happened to me made it to where my kidneys almost wanted to stop functioning. But let's take it all back to October. You know, I worked inside of a gym. That was my last job. In that job, I worked in a smoothie bar that hardly got any business. You know, this is off topic, but that's mostly why I left the job, because I don't know how they're not out of business. There was a night that I was working, and one of the managers of the gym asked me to come over. Came over. She was like, "Hey, so do you want to take any classes for free?" Because sometimes they'll give us the opportunity to do that. This is the first time I was given the opportunity to do that, and she was like,
"Yeah, so we have 2 classes that have openings. One of them is boxing, and the other one is cycling."
Or spin, because they called it a spin class, but I feel like cycling, you know what cycling is. So out of the 2, I was like, I feel like cycling would be easier than boxing because I know those classes can be a little challenging. So I was like, I'll choose cycling. But in hindsight, maybe I should have chosen boxing. Maybe this wouldn't have happened, but that's besides the point. So the next day, I show up to the gym to go to the cycling class. For this class in particular, it was Halloween themed as it was nearing the end of October. The decorations were whatever. I mean, they're kind of tacky. Who gives a shit? I go into the class. I get in the back. I set up the little seat on the stationary, whatever. More people start showing up to the class, and then the class starts. And this is where I realized that maybe I should have taken boxing. Man, that class was hard. That class was really, really difficult. I think it was like 45 minutes for the whole class, and let's say for 30 to 35 minutes of the class, we were having to stand on the bike pedals and ride the bike. We're standing on the bike pedals and riding the bike. Do you understand? I'm not one to work out, okay? I'm not one to just go in there, work out, and be fine. Well, I don't do those things. So, of course, when it came time to stand on the pedals, I was like, okay, maybe this will happen for like a couple minutes, whatever. And I couldn't even last a couple minutes, but that's besides the point. What's the point is that they did it for fucking 35 minutes. They did it for 35 minutes, standing up on the bicycle handles or bars or the pedals. You know what I mean? I don't get it. What do we need to do all of this for? I feel like these classes... off topic. I feel like these classes are meant to be more like,
oh, look, I can do this. Look, I'm so cool. I'm so strong. I could do this.
As opposed to literally just actual training and, being able to ride a bike for a prolonged period of time. They don't want to do that. It's for, aesthetics. It's so stupid. And then they do all this, bullshit, dancing or whatever to keep your attention. I don't care. And in the class as well, there was this old guy that was a few bikes away from me that had his headphones on and was just riding the bike regularly the whole time. Maybe there were, a couple times for, a minute where he would, get get up on the pedals and start biking. But the whole class, he wasn't paying attention to wherever the fuck the instructors were doing up there. He was just riding the stationary like a regular bike. And you know what? Salute to that man, because I should have done that. Knowing what happened next, I should have done that. But instead, I got like too prideful, or whatever the word you want to use is, and I was like, you know what, I'll try it out. And it also had to do with maybe feeling bad because this is a free class that I was offered and I am currently taking. So I'm like, I don't want to make the instructors mad or something, as if they would. And you see the old guy next to me and he's just riding his bike like it's nobody's business. So who cares? I could have just done what he did. But instead, I felt like I would be embarrassed, and I was too prideful. So I was like, oh, I'm just going to do what they do. And, I tried. I gave it a valiant effort, but I was hardly able to do it. And by the end of the class, man, I was dreading every single second of it. I just wanted to get out of there. But, I can't just walk out. Again, I would feel embarrassed, and I'm too prideful to do that. I'm going to keep on riding the bike. And I did that, and then the class ended, and I left. But my God, my legs, done. My legs were done. I could barely walk, barely bend the legs. It was a hard time. I still saved room for some Chipotle after the class, so I had to drive over to Chipotle, get out the car, get Chipotle, get out of Chipotle, and get back into the car and then drive home. I had to do that because I love it. So I get home and, my legs are sore. I could barely bend them, but I was like, I have done this before. This isn't my first rodeo with soreness. It'll probably be fine. Come the next day, I get up. It's pretty bad still, worse than before, but I was still able to walk around a little bit, do whatever I need to do. And that night, me and my girlfriend went to a concert. Maybe it wasn't the greatest time to take a class, specifically that class, but I wanted to do it and I wanted to go to the show. So we went to the show, and luckily, I was just standing in the back with my girlfriend. There was nothing really going on. We jumped a couple times, but it wasn't anything too crazy. I had a fun time. So after the concert, me and my girlfriend head back to my house. She is spending the night, and it's at that point where, my legs are feeling pretty bad still. But then I get into the shower because, of course, after a concert, you should take a shower. You should take a shower every day, really. If you're not taking a shower every day, pee fucking you, dude. Go take a shower right now. I get in the shower and I'm like, I'll just take a whiz. I pee in the shower and the color is not very ordinary. At least it shouldn't be ordinary. If your pee is brown, go to the hospital. This is coming from somebody whose pee was brown. My pee was brown, if you didn't know. But I didn't think anything of it. I just thought I was dehydrated, even though I drank a whole bottle of water at the concert, and I didn't really move around too much at the concert, but whatever. I felt like I was dehydrated, so then I just went into bed. We slept, and it was pretty hard to sleep that night because the legs just kept on getting worse. And at this point, my thigh and quad region were starting to get a little swollen, which is not common either. Again, if your legs are swollen, you should go to the hospital. So we get up in the morning and my legs are in their worst state. I tried to get out of the bed. I really can't. And even when I did, I'm walking around like I'm a fucking penguin, dude. I can't move my legs. And also, my legs are so damn swollen. I'm like, oh my God, like what's going on? They look like bazookas, man. What's happening? It was so bad I couldn't even sit in my chair and do my homework. As if I wanted to do the homework anyways, but I need to do it. I'm in college. I can't even sit down and do my homework. This is bad. Luckily, my sweet and gorgeous girlfriend goes to the store and gets me like food and medicine and such, and I really do appreciate her, and I especially appreciate her for what's coming next. But before that happens, she leaves the house and I am to my own devices. Okay, what am I gonna do for the whole day? All right, this is a free day. I don't have work or nothing. What's happening? Not a whole lot. I could barely even sit on the toilet to poop. I wasn't able to poop for like 3 days. Yeah. So, in between that time, I go to pee again. Still brown. It's a little concerning. And then a little while later, I drink my whole water bottle. So I'm like, I'm gonna go pee again. What do you know? It's brown. So at night, my girlfriend calls me. It maybe is like 10 p.m. It's around the time we usually call at night. She's like, hey, so I looked up what symptoms you're having. You know, swollen legs, pee is brown. You gotta go to the hospital. What she had found out is that I had a condition called rhabdomyolysis, or however you say it. You could just call it rhabdo. So once again, the symptoms are my legs are swollen, or just general muscle region is swollen, which is crazy. May I just say real quick, because then I heard that somebody in her family had this, right? But his arms were swollen. So even if I did boxing, this could have happened. It's like life was out to get me. I mean, either direction I took, it still would have led to the same path. I mean, I would have just been in the hospital anyways. So, you know, I'm just like, you know, I was dealt these cards. I gotta play them however I can. So I go downstairs and I tell my dad, hey, man, my pee is brown. I gotta go to the hospital. And he's like, fuck. Because he has a thing. He is not going to take us anywhere during the weekend unless it is a actual legitimate emergency, and this was one of those times where it was an actual legitimate emergency. We went to urgent care. We're there for a few hours. They were trying to figure out what's going on, testing, all that jazz. Then they came back and was like, oh, you know, maybe it's this, maybe it's rhabdo, I don't know. We'll send you to the hospital. So they sent me to the hospital, and I am in there 6 days. I was in the hospital for 6 days. Now, for the first like two and a half days, I was in general care, or whatever they call it. It's essentially the spot where they're trying to figure out what to do with you. So I was in this little cubicle, essentially, with a tarp hanging over the ceiling that's acting as a door, and I had my little own hospital bed, and there were a few seats. I was hooked up to an IV. You can see in the picture right here. I am sleeping. My hair looks horrible because I hadn't showered in a few days at that point. Go take a shower. And I have that IV because they are giving me saline packs, and I would say in that week, give or take, I had over 100,000 milliliters of saline. And it is a crazy number because I have to. Like, I need to pee all of it out. So I was peeing probably every 30 minutes to an hour at first. Because if I was still doing that after 6 days, there would maybe be a bit of a problem. You know, throughout the 6 days, they started slowing down on the saline packet usage, especially because during the time there was a saline shortage, and I think I may have put a dent in that a little bit. So I was in general care, and then I got put into this snazzy room for the last couple days, or few days. I think it was actually a few days.
Look at that. There, look at That's my view outside.
It was pretty awesome. I had a TV in front of me. I was laying in the comfortable hospital bed. And this was during Halloween, so I was just watching Halloween movies the whole time, and I was also watching a lot of Hallmark specials. I wish that I had taken down the names of those movies, because I would have made a video about those, or maybe in the future I would, but I don't know what they're called. So I missed out on that opportunity, but maybe I'll try to figure it out in the future. Regardless, I was in the hospital getting saline packets. I was getting blood drawn every like 3 hours. My arm and hands were bruised the hell up. I mean, there was even a time where all of my veins were blown, so they had to go to my hand, and they were trying to stick that needle in my left hand for a good 45 minutes. I mean, it hurt like shit. It was horrible. At least they were doing it and they got it, because then eventually I got out. They were like, okay, your creatine levels or whatever are good. You can leave. I was like, thank God. So I left that hospital, and yeah, I mean, I missed Halloween, but it could have been worse, to be honest. Welcome back to Connor's Media Corner. Yeah, welcome back, man. At the end of March, on my birthday, when I had released the first part of the series within the Connor Talk series, I had in mind me doing this every single month at the end of the month, because I would have a Connor Talks episode coming out at every single month at the end of the month. It's the middle of May, so I've already broken that. This is why I can't set goals for myself, because I'm just going to break them. It always seems to happen. But whatever, welcome back. So let's discuss a movie and a record for today. I will say that in the last month and a half, I have not watched a singular movie, so what do I want to talk about then in this section? I guess we could discuss something here. I don't know if you can see it up there, but that is a Speed Racer poster, the 2008 live action version of Speed Racer. It's my favorite movie of all time. I absolutely love that movie. I think the Wachowski sisters did a fantastic job on that movie. And if you don't know who the Wachowski sisters are, they did The Matrix. So you already know that this movie was going to look insane. And trust me, I even think that this movie looks crazier than the Matrix movies did. Yeah, you know, and I recognize it's a kid's movie and it's not exactly like the greatest piece of art of all time, but, you know, I watched it when I was a child. I think that, again, it came out in 2008, so I was 6 years old in 2008. Pretty prime time for me to watch this movie. I watched the hell out of it. I really did. This movie is fantastic. I love it so much. I think it's going to continue to be in my top 5 of all time, and I think it's still going to be in my top 1 until I find something that's even better than it. But until that happens, it is still my favorite movie of all time. For the movie that I'm showing back here, I got this tape at a Goodwill, and it is a Hallmark Christmas movie. So I don't know, maybe one day I'll talk about it. But until that happens, let's discuss an album, okay? What album do I have in mind for this month, or the last month and a half, really? Well, I'll be honest with you, I really only listen to the same music all the time. So there wasn't really a whole lot that I can discuss here. I mean, we could discuss Summer Death by Marietta. I got into that album recently, like the whole thing. Obviously, I know songs like Cinco de Mayo Shit Show and whatever else, but this whole record is very, very good. I think it's their best one, in my opinion. Then you have Shavasana by Gonerville. Shout out. It's a Witch House tape. Very good. Maybe you should go check it out. And then Cemetery re-released on streaming Grave House and 100 Acre Wrist. Holy moly, mother of God. I've been listening to it quite a bit recently because it was re-released. And then obviously I have been listening to a lot of 100 Acre Wrist as well. But I mean, that's really it for the last month and a half. I can't really say that I've listened to a whole lot else apart from those 4. Maybe October Country by Ghost Mountain still, and then some random singles by like Black Cray. But that's really it, I'll be honest. So sorry, maybe next month will be a little better, but this month this is all I've got. But that's it for the section. If you're also wondering what the hell Matt is doing here, it's a punching bag thing. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, helps with the algorithm. I really hope that y'all stick around for future Car Talks episodes, but as well as other videos on my channel. If you are new to the channel, please go watch my other videos. I know I don't have a lot, and I don't really upload a whole lot, but I'm trying to change that a little bit, so stick around. And also, towards the end of this month, I will have a Halloween video out. This video was supposed to go up on Halloween last year, but obviously, for what I discussed today, it didn't. Be on the lookout for that. Again, like, comment, subscribe, helps the algorithm. I will see y'all in the next one. Deuces.